Are you tired of sore, achy feet? This is going to be the perfect class for you. Hi, I'm Dr. Melissa, and in today's class, we're doing yoga for healthy feet. If you happen to have a tennis, a lacrosse ball, golf ball size, or a yoga block, go ahead and grab that. If not, I've got you covered. Go grab your mats, and let's do this. Okay, we're gonna start in standing. And I just want you to kind of check in with your feet. How are they feeling? Turn and take a peek. Can you lift your toes and then spread them apart? Do you notice if your thighs are kicking on, your shins are burning, or can you just lift those toes and spread them apart? I promise the more you practice, this gets easier, and we're gonna go over this today. So drop those feet back down. Now, if you happen to have the ball, go ahead and grab the ball. If not, you can sit and use your fingers in that area. So we're gonna start with the ball just at the bottom of our heel. So sitting down, you can do the same thing with your fingers. Sometimes I'll grab like the back end of a spoon. You can do the same thing there. So we're just placing the ball there, toes are down on the ground, and we're gonna pivot back and forth over that area. Yeah. You'll find lovely little spots, or maybe you won't. Just going back and forth. If you find a good one that's like, oh, that hurt but feels good, you can hold there a little bit longer. You can linger in different spots, gentle back and forth over those areas. Nice work. Now with this technique, the myofascial release technique, 30 to 60 seconds each spot, because you can overhydrate your tissues if you're doing it longer, and that just makes the tissues stiffer. So more is not necessarily better in this case. Good. And then we're going to start at that big toe now, and we're going to roll and work your way down. So if you're using your hands sitting down, just kind of start at the big toe and peel down along that area. And you'll kind of notice little tender spots along the way. You can hold on to something. We're not testing your balance here. Just a little rolling, loosening up those feet. Oh. This is always this like hurts, but like, oh, it feels so amazing afterwards. Your feet are like, thank you. Good. Now we're gonna start to work our way down between the second and the third toe. You're looking for any little speed bumps along the way, just gently moving in and moving out. Good. And then start to work your way towards the outside of your foot. Ooh, that's good. Just gently moving in and out. Now, was it more tender along the inside or the outside of your foot? What did you notice? Okay. Now we're going to take both feet, place them back down, and just observe your right foot versus your left foot. Maybe that right feels like it can spread apart a little more. Maybe try to lift the toes, and it might be easier to lift those toes. There might be more warmth there. Just observing all those little changes. Now we're going to come over towards the left side, same exact thing. So place it just above the top of your heel, and we're going to pivot back and forth. The toes stay down on the ground. And then if you're sitting using your fingers, just kind of dig right across the top of that area. Back and forth, opening it up. How does this side compare to your other side? I'm still working on my right side after I broke it last summer. So I'm always still amazed, like, wow, you're still tender compared to the other side. And that's what's so cool in tapping into yoga, is learning how your body feels one side to the other, noticing those subtle little differences. Good. Now we're gonna roll. So we'll start at that big toe and work our way down. Ooh. Especially if you've had plantar fasciitis before, maybe you're dealing with it now, this inside part of your foot, this little teeny muscle in here, that can be one of the causes. It can be a trigger point for it. That's why I like getting that real inside part kind of going from your big toe to here, right along that area. And then let's start to work our way down that second toe. Now, is it more tender to the inside or the middle? Do you notice lots of little speed bumps on this side, or maybe not so much? And then we'll go to the outside. Outside foot. Ooh. Nice job. And then come off both those balls again. And then pressing down into the feet, I want you to spread those toes apart. And when you're trying to spread the toes, think of pressing through the mound of your big toe versus like gripping or pulling anything. We're gonna spread and move those toes apart. This is a great thing to work on practicing throughout the day. Let's just try to spread and lift those toes. Does it feel any different from before we started rolling? Maybe it's a little easier, maybe they move more. Good, one more time, spread and lift those toes. Great, so now we're gonna come down towards the ground and we're going to come into kind of a tabletop position. We're gonna curl your toes underneath. And you wanna make sure your feet aren't rolling to the outside. Keep those heels facing the ceiling. And then you're gonna sink those hips back. It's a really big stretch along the bottom of your foot. I need to do this one a little more than I do. Ooh. You might notice those big toes are a little stiff. Maybe one side feels a little different than the other side. So we'll sink those hips back, hold for a breath, nice big stretch, and then kind of pull yourself forward on weight. We'll sink those hips back, nice big stretch in there, and then pull yourself, come forward. Sink those hips, pull it back, and then bring yourself forward. 2 more times, stretching out the bottom of those feet. Nice job. Good. Then we're gonna hold one more time, sink those hips back. Ooh. And a couple breaths here, breathing out to the sides of that rib cage. Nice, gentle breath in. Exhale, let it go. One more here. Good. Let that go. And then we're gonna come out of that position and come down, sitting down. Now, if you've got that ball, you're gonna go ahead and grab your ball. If you've got your yoga block, you could also use a foam roller for this one. We're gonna place it to the inside of that left calf. And you're gonna roll up and down till you find a lovely little spot. Ooh, goodness. And then just hold it there and point your toes and then pull your toes up towards you. Point your toes and then pull them back up towards you. Now, the inside calf muscle is another great trigger point. If you've been dealing with plantar fasciitis, you might notice that it's particularly tender more to the inside. Maybe you have more tenderness on the outside of your calf, but those 2 trigger points I mentioned, this inside part of your calf and then that muscle along the inside of your foot, are 2 common areas for those muscles to be tight and that could be contributing to the pain on the bottom of your foot. Nice work. Same thing with this guy, 30, 60 seconds, and then we keep it rolling. Ooh. Nice work. Let's do one more. Great. And then we'll just switch that to the other side. So finding a spot, maybe it's inside, maybe it's closer down by your heel. If you're always wanting like a little extra more, maybe you place that left foot on top of the other. Ooh, and we're just rolling, yay. And then you pull your toes up and you point those toes. Pull your toes, lift them up, and then point those toes. What's the difference from your left side and your right side? What are you noticing? Good. Bend and straighten a few more on this side. And then we'll be done with the balls for now. Good. One more here. Nice. And then let's come off that ball. Now, if you happen to have the yoga block, you can use it. If not, you can do the same exact thing without. We're gonna take our right foot, put your right foot up on that block. And then we're gonna take our right knee and just sink the right knee forward over those toes. And then once you get the knee as far as it'll go, see if you can take your foot and pull your foot up towards you. It might not move a lot, and that's okay. Mine's not moving. I have super tight calves. Good, pull that foot up and then soften. See if you can sink a little more. Pull those toes, lift up. Sink a little bit more. Lift that foot up. And make sure you're not rolling to the outside or that knee's not coming in. That knee wants to go straight forward over your ankle. Lift the foot up and then back off. Forward over the ankle, lift, pull it up, and then back it off. 2 more times on this side. Get that knee going forward, lift, hold it up. Great, back it off. Last one, sink forward, pull those toes, lift up, and then back it off. And then we'll just switch. So left foot comes up, left foot can be on the ground. We're taking the knee, sneak that knee forward, pull your toes up towards you, and then back it off. Sink the knee forward, lift up. Does it move more on one side? Can you feel the muscles in your shin a little bit more on one side? What's the difference? Sink that knee forward, lift those toes up. Back off. Sink that knee forward, lift that foot, come up. Back off. Good. One more time. Sink that forward. Pull those toes up. Nice job. And then come all the way back up. And then we'll move that block off towards the side. Come back up to that standing position we started with. And then I want you to think of trying to spread your toes. Press through the mound of your big toe. Are they moving more? Does it feel easier? What are you noticing about your feet? And then slowly lower those feet back down. From here, we've got one more. We're gonna sink our hips, come back into a chair pose. Those knees can go forward. Hands can be at your hips, out at heart center, maybe by your side. But try to get the knees forward over those toes. And then press into your feet, lift, come up. Maybe you come up onto your toes. Back down, sink the hips, arms by your side. Knees go forward, feel a nice stretch in those ankles. Come back up. Nice. Sink those hips, bring it back. Come back up. Careful when you're coming up that we're not rolling to the outside of those feet. Press into those feet, come back up. Sink those hips back. Finding your pace that works for you. We're gonna do 3, 2, last 1. Nice. We'll do one added bonus. This is one of my favorites for strengthening your calf and the bottom of your feet too. If you have got a ball, or you can take a towel roll or something in between your heels, and we want to push through the mound of that big toe. You're going to lift, come up, squeeze your heels together, and then drop it back down. Lift, squeeze, and then back down. Good. Try not to grip with those toes. Pressing into your feet, lifting up, and then back down. Squeeze that ball or whatever you got between your heels at the end, and we're not rolling to the outside of your feet. Nice work. We're going to do 5, 4, 3, 2, last 1. Take that ball out. Come back to that position we started again, and then try to spread those toes apart. The spreading the toes, continue to keep doing this after class throughout your day. I promise you will notice a huge difference if you stick with this. And then lower those toes back down. Soften those feet. Check in, what's the difference that you noticed from when we first started? We worked on the mobility in our feet and our ankles. We rolled them out, creating some hydration so those tissues will glide back and forth, and then worked on building a little bit of strength. Now make sure those feet are feeling good. Let's take a nice big breath in. Exhale, bring those hands down towards heart center. Just thanking your body for its practice today. If you found this video helpful and you liked the content, let me know down below in the comments. And if you're new around here, hit that subscribe button. Keep up the good work. Until next time, namaste.